Okay, so now we are going to introduce radian measure. You guys have seen it because you've had to make sure your calculator is in degree mode, not radian mode. So what is this whole radian thing? So let's talk about radian measure. Again, another really important idea. So let's focus, get rid of all your distractions, and talk about radian measure. Okay, so here's our definition. I'll read through it. You're going to want to pause and write it in. The radian measure of a central angle, that's an angle in standard position like we've been working on in this unit. The radian measure of a central angle is equal to the length of the arc on the unit circle created by that angle. So what are we talking about, right? Let's just visualize. So the central angle is going to be an angle in standard position, but we also are talking about the unit circle. So let's draw in our unit circle. So here's our unit circle. What do we know about the unit circle? The unit circle has a radius of 1. So if I draw an angle, a central angle means the center or the vertex will be at the center of the circle. I know that that has a length of 1. And then if I draw in the arc, so remember the arc, this is a geometry idea. The arc goes along the circle like this, all right? So if we want to show what 1 radian is, you know, we know 1 degree is a really, really small angle. What is an angle with a measure of 1 radian? It's going to be an angle that has an arc length of 1. So it's about like this, where this angle measure is 1 radian. We can fit 1, 2, 3, just over 3 of these in this top half of our coordinate plane. But that's what a radian is. So let's just talk about measuring angles. We know this is 0 degrees, this is 90 degrees, 180 degrees, and 270 degrees. In radians, because we have a unit circle with a radius of 1, everything's going to be in reference to the circumference of this circle. If you remember, circumference is equal to 2 pi times the radius. Well, in the unit circle, the radius is 1. So 2 pi times 1, which gives us 2 pi. So a 360 degree angle that goes all the way around is going to have the same measure as 2 pi in radians. 2 pi radians is the same thing as 360 degrees. This is a really sloppy circle. I apologize for that. If we know that 1 full rotation is 2 pi radians, if we go half of that, that is pi. So an angle that is 180 degrees, 180 in degree measure is pi units, or has a measure of pi in radians. While 90 degrees, if we take our pi measurement and we cut it in half, we get pi over 2. So pi over 2 is the radian measure equal to 90 degrees. Now to 270, it's more than pi, right? But it's not quite 2 pi, so how do we figure out what it is? Well, if I think in terms of this is a pi over 2, here's another pi over 2, and here's another pi over 2. So pi over 2, pi over 2, pi over 2, that gives us 3 pi over 2. That has the same measure as 270 degrees. So I know this is all very new, so just stick with it. The more we practice, the more it will make sense. Part B, how can you use radian measure to sketch an angle? Well, let's say we had to sketch the angle 4 pi over 3 radians. We can do that. So what we do is we want to say, well, what is pi divided into? How many sections? We know that this is 0, this is pi. So if we look at our 4 pi over 3, pi is divided into thirds. So what I like to do is I sketch that out. I'm going to take pi from here to here, and I'm going to divide it into thirds. So it won't be perfect, but if I divide it into thirds like that, each of these sections, this is a pi over 3, this is a pi over 3, and this is a pi over 3. So if I were to write out those angle measures, this is pi over 3, this is 2 pi over 3, and then this is 3 pi over 3, which simplifies to just pi. So are you guys seeing, I'm just taking pi, dividing it into thirds. Here's 1, 2, 3. That's pi divided into thirds. Well, how many pi over 3 sections do we need for our angle measure? We need 4 of them. So we don't have enough. 1 pi over 3, 2 pi's over 3, 3 pi over 3. We need another one. So now we divide the bottom half into 3's. We take the bottom, we know from here to here is another pi. We're going to divide that into 3. So if we keep going, we have 1 pi over 3, 2 pi over 3, 3 pi over 3, 4 pi over 3, 5 pi over 3, and then this last one would be 6 pi over 3, which simplifies to 2 pi. And we said 1 full rotation, a 360-degree angle, is the same thing as 2 pi. So let's draw in a 4 pi over 3 angle. 1 pi over 3, 2 pi over 3, 3 pi over 3. It's going to be right here, 4 pi over 3. There's our angle, 4 pi over 3.